Jaguars getting ready for the finale of the preseason. Now, a couple of guys in this game, of course, very, very familiar with one another, are Mike Smith and Jack Del Rio. Some more notes on them in a moment. Right now, let's go down to Fred Khalil with head coach Mike Smith.
Thanks, guys. Here with head coach Mike Smith. And Mike, just talk about the decision to not play a lot of the starters tonight.
Well, we feel like from the very beginning we want to make sure that we get to the season opener as healthy as possible, and I think this definitely is the best way to approach it. We've got a lot of guys that we want to evaluate, so we're going to give them the majority of the reps.
And some of the goals for this final preseason game?
We want to make sure that our guys communicate with one another. That's, I think, is very, very important. Then we want to play fast. It's something that I think it's got to be a trademark of our football team, is that we play fast on all three phases.
You know, I know, as you said, the starters don't need to play, but there's a lot of guys out there that's going to be fighting for jobs tonight, isn't there?
Oh, there most certainly is, Fred. You know, this is a big night for a lot of guys on our team, you know, and we're going to have some really tough decisions to make, you know, as a personnel staff and as a coaching staff as we move over these next couple of days.
Thanks and good luck.
All right, thank you.
Head coach Mike Smith, guys.
All right, thank you, Fred. Of course, that's Jack Del Rio. He and his Jaguars trying to bounce back from a sub-500 season last year. And for years, Mike Smith was his assistant here as defensive coordinator before he took the Atlanta Falcons head coaching job. Conditions here tonight, pretty darn nice, frankly, for Florida. A little cooler than it was last Friday night in Miami, 79 degrees, humidity 67% here at Everbank Field. And there's some guys here tonight that we're going to keep an eye on. As Baldy mentioned, a number of them. There's one of them, Shan Chillinger, who had an interception in Game 1 against Kansas City, and he is scheduled to start in the Falcons secondary tonight, by the way. Don't know what we'll see of him on special teams as well, perhaps, too. And also Dominique Franks, fifth-round draft pick, will be in the spotlight certainly at some point, whether it's special teams or in the secondary here for Brian Van Gorder's defensive unit tonight. So very, very important evening for a lot of these guys as a veteran Josh Scobie prepares to kick off for Jacksonville. The Falcons have won the toss, and so we'll be receiving here to start the game. We mentioned Anton Smith early on, and there he is, back to return the kick. Does not get it back to the 20-yard line after coming out of the end zone just up over the 15, so it's a 20-yard return. So Chris Redmond will be calling the shots here in the first half, at the very least, for the Falcons. His preseason numbers, 9 out of 15 and a touchdown. There you see what he did last season. And, of course, he had to step in there as the starter on a couple of occasions when Matt Ryan suffered the turf toe injury. So the Falcons with the ball on their own 17-yard line. And here's Redmond. And that's complete to Michael Palmer, the rookie from Clemson. Takes it, and that's good for a first down. Let's take a look at our Bud Light starting lineups after the gain of 15 from Redmond to Palmer. As we mentioned, Jarius Norwood in that starting lineup. Veteran Dan Klecko joins Troy Bergeron, Keith Zinger, and Eric Weems for the Falcons. Brett Romberg in there for McClure at center. And they're looking at Will Zvitek tonight and Garrett Reynolds too. Now, Zvitek, of course, logged a lot of time last year for the Falcons and is a very valuable guy, replacing Sam Baker when the occasion calls for it at left tackle. So that's a first down for Atlanta up to the 32-yard line after the completion. Ball loose in the backfield. Looked like Jason Snelling was the guy who lost control. Bud Light starting lineups as we look at the Jacksonville defense. Jeremy Mincy, you may recognize that name from his days as a Florida Gator, joined by Duzebolt, Curry, and Hart. Russell Allen, Tony Gilbert, former Georgia Bulldog and Atlanta Falcon, and Rod Wilson, the linebacking core for Jack Del Rio. Derek Cox and Gerald Alexander are a couple of guys who could very well be in those same spots next week when Jacksonville starts their season at home here against Denver. Also 4 on the play, so 2nd and 14 for Redmond and company. And here's Snelling on the ground over the right side with a nice hole. And Jason Snelling up. Looks like he's just shy of the first down marker, so it'll bring up a 3rd and short after the 13-yard gain.
Good cut off the right side, though, led by Will Zvitek and Garrett Reynolds. Playing on that right side tonight as they try to get Will Zvitek some reps at right tackle. We know he's played on the left side. and Snelling did a good job of cutting behind him, finding the hole, and then showing that burst that he showed really at the end of the season last year when he got a chance to play a lot with the injuries to Turner and to Norwood.
3rd and 1 on the 41. And it's Snelling. And that's right at the marker. So they'll take a close look at this one, this officiating crew. And by the way, they've adjusted the rules a little bit again on the officiating, Baldy, as far as the positioning
Of the umpire, yes.
Yes.
The umpire now will be in his normal spot, right next to the middle linebacker in the final 2 minutes of the first half and the last 5 minutes of the second half. And that spot by the line judge there had him about a half a yard short, and the Falcons will take the opportunity to punt it away.
Yep, the Falcons will get ready to punt here. So Michael Kanan comes on, and Scotty McGee is back to receive the rookie from James Madison University, Kanan's kick. As he comes up to his 18-yard line and tries to find some room, and there's absolutely nothing there. Keith Armstrong's punt coverage unit all over him. So no score yet here in the first quarter. After the 41-yard punt, Falcons D will get ready to take the field.
The Falcons preseason is brought to you by SunTrust, official bank of the Atlanta Falcons. Bud Light, here we go. And Falcons TV on demand, only on Xfinity TV.
Luke McCown and the Jacksonville offense taking over 1st and 10. McGee got about a yard on the return of the Kanan kick, so it's from the 20. McCown fires immediately out to his left side, and that's complete, but a short gain of about 3 yards. Montel Owens, the receiver on that play. Let's take a look at our Bud Light starting lineups here. Give you some details about these Jacksonville Jaguars that the Falcons are facing tonight. McCown, of course, stops in Cleveland and Tampa Bay before coming here to Jacksonville. In his career of 6 years, he's played in 15 games and had 7 starts. There's some of the talent around him. Kasim Osgood, one of the receivers. Vince Manawai, Brad Meester. In fact, 3 of the 4 of that lineup right there along the offensive front are starting offensive linemen. So Jack Del Rio has some offensive starters in there tonight, and the Falcons defense rises up to stop Owens on that play right up the middle. So let's take a look at our Bud Light starting lineups and that Falcons D. Jamal Anderson, Trey Lewis, Bray Jerry, who mentioned him, and Lawrence Sidbury at the end opposite Jamal Anderson, the second-year guy from Richmond. Stephen Nicholas, Coy Wire, and the top-round draft pick Sean Weatherspoon for the Falcons at linebacker. More looks at Brian Williams tonight. William Moore, Shan Schillinger, and Christopher Owens round out the secondary for Brian Van Gorder's defensive unit here against Jacksonville tonight. That's a 3rd and 8 now for McCown on the 22 of Jacksonville, and he's operating from the shotgun. He had time, and he has a receiver. The defender fell down. Chevis Jackson fell down, so Troy Williamson, the veteran from South Carolina, was wide open.
Well, Jacksonville did a good job of picking up the blitz. The Falcons come with late pressure from the linebacker position. You can see McCown, plenty of time to find Williamson going after Chevis Jackson. I don't think he got both feet in bounds. I think that was ruled right there. I think the left foot came down on the white stripe, and so the Falcons actually will get off the field and force a Jacksonville punt.
The veteran Adam Podlish back to punt for them. And back to return for the Falcons is Dominique Franks. We thought he'd see some special teams action tonight. Called for the fair catch as he goes out of bounds with the football. So 37-yard punt for Podlish. Franks takes it, and the Falcons offense will be back up to bat. Some of the starters casually dressed on the sidelines, observing their teammates here in preseason game number 4. Pretty good field position for Chris Redmond and company on their own 42-yard line after the Jacksonville punt. Empty backfield. Redmond out to his left to Jarius Norwood. Didn't have any room to run after he got it, but he did get it before he got out of bounds. So, Baldy, what do you think for this Falcons offense tonight, our Home Depot keys to the game?
Well, Rennie, we just mentioned we just saw a bunch of starters that aren't dressed tonight. Staying healthy is key here. I think up front, the offensive line, even though most of them are backups, As you saw last year, backups have got to play in this league. They got to block better than they did last year. And then I think, it's an opportunity for guys to catch somebody's eye, to flash, to do something that, the staff and some of the evaluators haven't seen from guys before. Make it a hard decision to release somebody.
Our key is brought to you by Home Depot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. And here comes some Falcons offensive power on the end around there. Bergeron picking up a nice gain and a first down after a gain of 9.
Well, Troy Bergeron is one of those guys who's just trying to earn a spot here, whether it's a practice squad or regular season here. He shows the speed that he can turn the corner, get upfield, doesn't go out of bounds, stays in bounds, and picks up the first down. So, the first time Troy Bergeron touches the ball tonight, he gets a first down. He's caught the touchdown pass from Chris Redmond this year in preseason. Well, he's got one of the touchdowns of the Falcons.
Flecko and Weems are out to the right. And Palmer is here to the left. That's the man who's targeted. That's the man who has it just shy of the 35-yard line.
This Palmer is one of these guys the Falcons like. They're a big tight end team. Mike Mularkey, the offensive coordinator, was a tight end in the league for a long time. And he's got great speed. He runs really well. Now, can he gain some weight? Can he become a better blocker? That's what developing young players is all about, and I think he's going to be in their plans here. Larky upstairs in the middle with the headset on. His son, Mike's son, is a scout for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Spent some time down in the field with him before the action tonight.
Also has a son playing for the North Carolina Tar Heels. Here's Norwood trying to bounce it outside, and he is wrapped up as Jarius Norwood trying to get outside. Derek Cox, the starting corner, and Wilson also in on the tackle for Jacksonville.
I think, with a lot of starters not dressed tonight, to see Jarius Norwood, a fifth-year veteran out there playing tonight, it just goes to show you that when you've been injured, like the way Jarius has last year in the start to training camp with a bad hip, no job is safe. You got to go out there and earn your keep, and that's what Jarius is trying to do tonight, earn another year with this Falcon team.
On a 3rd and 5. For the Falcons. Protection. Redmond took his time and found a receiver that's shy of the first down by about a yard. Gain of about 3. Brandon Harvey, the free agent rookie from Villanova, the catch.
That's Joe Harley, the left guard right there, doing a good job with Jose Valdez, just double teaming the end. And Harley's a 4th-round pick from UNLV this past year, guy that they are trying to develop as a backup center and a backup guard. They're high on him. They like it. 4th down.
They're going on 4th and 2 at the 35. And whistles before Redmond can fire that one.
Offense, 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Now that changes the picture for Mike Smith's team, now 4th and 7.
Now that's a bad job though.
Yes.
Even though it's a second team, and I mean, one thing Mike Smith said to Fred Khalil before the game, he said, our trademark is to play fast. Playing fast means get the play in, get it called, get to the line of scrimmage, and get it run, and they didn't do that, and they missed an opportunity to try to convert a 4th down.
Kanan standing just outside his 45. McGee again back for Jacksonville. Good protection for Kanan, who tries to hang it up, put it inside the 20, and he did just that, right at the 10-yard line. So it only went 30, but it went exactly where Michael Kanan wanted it to go, and the team knows it. Doesn't matter if it's preseason or Super Bowl, this always gives me a chill. A flyover was part of our pregame festivities here at Everbank Field tonight, and the lead pilot was none other than Cedartown, Georgia's own Lieutenant Colonel Marlon Benton of the United States Marine Corps. So not only proud of him, I'm sure, back in his hometown, but we all thank him and men and women like him for their service. As Jacksonville takes over at their 10, the left side of that Falcons defensive unit gave them nothing. In fact, lost about a yard.
Yeah, and one guy to really watch down there is the 1st-round draft pick. Right now, Sean Witherspoon, who's starting tonight, getting better and better with each preseason game. He was active on this play as well. Here he comes right through here. Blows that play up. He's at the bottom of the pile. He saw the ball. He's got great suddenness to him. Once he saw it, he shot the hole. He was able to wrap up the ball carrier and get him down. Just good instincts on this kid. He's going to be a heck of a tandem of inside linebackers of him and Curtis Lofton.
Vance Walker, the defensive tackle from Georgia Tech, second-year guy fighting for his football life, was involved in clogging up that play too. That pass is complete up over the 15-yard line to Zach Potter from Nebraska. The tight end gathers that in, 8-yard gain.
The keys to defensively, it starts the same. Get out here, get as many reps, but stay healthy, play smart, and then continue to develop the young talent. We mentioned William Moore and Prey Jerry at the start, but Sean Witherspoon as well, and some of the younger guys that are out there, like Dominique Franks, and then they've been good this preseason with taking the ball away in these games. 4 against Kansas City, a couple last week against Miami. They'd like to continue that.
3 receivers to the right for McCown, but he looked left all the way, and that is off the hands of the intended receiver. Witherspoon out there along with Montel Owens, the running back.
Well, it's been a good start for the Falcon defense. Whoever's out there right now, they have not surrendered a first down, getting off in 3 plays and out, and continue to put pressure on a Jacksonville offense that is starting their starting offensive line.
For all intents and purposes, you're right, Baldy. Maybe one of their personnel not in that first unit. Podlish again from deep in his own territory. Franks this time, no fair catch. He'll try to go somewhere with it, but he is taken down as he's in retreat back inside his own 30-yard line by a guy who spent some time with the Falcons, William Middleton from Furman University. Football league.
Yeah, and no tight end in the history of the game has ever caught 1,000 passes before. He's in his own company.
Chris Redmond, who is 4 for 4 thus far for 30 yards, a long completion of 15, starts on his own 28-yard line against the Jacksonville defense, and that's Norwood up the middle. 3-yard gain for Jarius. We've seen him on the edge over the years. That's where he can be really explosive. Baldy, they want to get a look at him going up into the interior, don't they?
Well, look, that's where they said he can't run. We know he can get to the outside. He's got great jets, great speed, but they need to change the pace back to Michael Turner. Michael Turner is a bruiser. He's got type flight speed, but you can't give it to Michael Turner 25 times every single game. Somebody else is going to have to share in the carries.
Redmond to his left to a wide open Bergeron, who turns and gets a little more icing on that cake. First down easily and almost to the 45.
Jose Valdez here is a young guy that they like. And here's why. First of all, he's got natural size at 6'5", 235. He's a free agent a year ago, and they're proud of what he did. He kind of changed his body type. He was a little soft as a young kid. Now he's in the weight room. He's getting stronger, and he's got that component that you can't really coach, and that's natural size with long arms. They've been playing him on the right side tonight. He's getting a chance on the left side.
13-yard gain for Redmond and Bergeron. And a first down. Here's Norwood again. Put his head down, trying to get to the 45. Did not quite get there, but an 8-yard gain nonetheless.
And here's why Norwood got there. Watch Valdez. He catches the defensive end in his zone drop, and now he just stays with him. He pushes him, stays with him, finishes it here, and the result is Norwood gets 8 yards on first down. So we've just watched him in pass protection, look pretty good. Looked at some good athletic ability, getting down the field and staying with his man.
Valdez is a former Arkansas Razorback. 2nd and 2. And Norwood again. And again some daylight. And the guy that some of his teammates called J-Rock is in the end zone, but there is a flag back upfield. A 48-yard run, but will it hold up?
I think there's going to be some holding by a wide receiver down the field, but you saw the speed, the burst, those same characteristics that made Jarius Norwood so exciting to watch this first 3 years.
Holding number 17, offense, 10-yard penalty. The result of the play is a first down after the enforcement.
You're right, holding. And so they'll bring it back.
Well, I think it's going to be on Brandon Harvey down here, the rookie free agent from Villanova. He's just trying to shield his man as now Norwood's now coming down the sideline and did have his hands. Watch his right hand.
Yeah, the hands are extended too far from the body.
But it's about development and learning. So yeah, it costs the Falcons a touchdown, but you can bet that Terry Robisky, the wide receiver coach, if this kid is around here next week, they'll work on that aspect. Keep the hands inside and not grab any claw.
Here's Redmond deep down the middle, and it's dropped in the end zone. Bergeron, the intended receiver.
It looked like a perfect pass by Redmond. Look how he dropped it in just perfectly. Protection first. Excellent job up front. 5-man protection against a 4-man rush. Redmond was able to step into it. Just a skinny post pattern right inside the numbers. Oh, it's perfect. I don't know if the lights got to him. You know, these outdoor lights here, they've been in the dome here the last couple of weeks, or, well, actually Miami last week, but you can't throw the ball any better than Redmond just did.
2nd and 10. And again, trying to get to the outside, but this time it's Antone Smith.
Antone Smith is a guy that's got great quickness, and it was just demonstrated there, where it looked like he was going to the sidelines, put his left foot in the ground, and cut up to stay inbounds and get as many yards as he possibly could on the play. And he gets congratulated coming off the sideline for doing just that.
Spent some time on the Lions practice squad before the Falcons picked him up. So 3rd and 7 now on the 34. On the shotgun, Redmond, perfect timing, good throw. Bergeron holds on to this one, and that's a first down. 13-yard pickup, and nobody ever said he had a rocket arm, but he laid that one in there the way he had to.
But here it is. Here's the throw. Watch this throw. I mean, the defender is actually in the passing lane, but he's blind. He can't see the ball coming. And sometimes you have to make those throws when a guy is perfectly covered and trust your guy is going to pick it up. So good comeback catch by Bergeron, who dropped the touchdown, and good trust by Redmond to go back to him.
Mike Smith looking on as his offensive unit has a 1st and 10 on the 21. Try the right side, behind the right side of the Falcons offensive line for no gain.
Brandon, we started tonight talking about some of the offensive keys, and it said they had to block better. I don't think they blocked well last week against Miami. Coaches so much said so as well. And so it's everybody. You know, it's the backups, it's the starters, it's everyone. And just too many runs by Michael Turner, I think, in the last 2 weeks that went for no yards or 1 yard. And they got to get better than that. They're going to go up against a team like Pittsburgh week 1 and move them off the ball.
It's Nance and Klecko behind Redmond. Palmer was in motion, and Redmond throws that one away. Ended up on his wallet.
Yeah. I tell you, he could have taken a much bigger wallop on his wallet if Valdez here doesn't do a good job of picking this linebacker off late, or that safety. Picked up Gerald Alexander late there and saved a hit off of Redmond. So good awareness by Jose Valdez on that play.
It was Joe Hawley's man who eventually got to Chris Redmond. So 3rd and 10 now on the 21. Hawley in front of your screen, in front of Redmond, who fakes left, turns right, lays it out there for Nance, who has it and fights for the first down marker. Will come up shy.
Okay, that was a great concentration by Dimitri Nance there, because this is the old double screen. Watch Redmond. He's going to fake it left, and he's going to come back the other way. The old double screen. Caught that ball in traffic. Broke another tackle there by Alexander, their starting safety, to get close to a first down as we end the first quarter, and the Falcons will make a decision. I think they'd want to see Matt Bryant kick here in this situation, a field goal attempt.
Well, talk about traffic. That looked like a feed into the low post in basketball
Yeah.
when a guy was double teamed, so Nance was able to pick it out of the air. And indeed, the first quarter has come to an end here at Everbank Field. Nobody has dented the scoreboard yet, but the Falcons down there in the Ford drive zone when we come back. Yards out, and Bryant 3 of 5 in the preseason, now 4 of 6 in field goal attempts in the 4 preseason games up to this point in game 4. So the Falcons first one to dent the scoreboard here with 14:56 to go in the second quarter on the strength of Bryant's three-pointer.
The Falcons preseason is brought to you by Ford. Win a pair of 2011 Sideline season tickets at defendthedome.com. And more savings, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot.
Well, that first quarter numbers, Baldy, pretty impressive defensively, certainly for the Falcons. No first downs for Jacksonville, only 11 yards passing and -2 rushing as Kanan gets ready to kick it off to Scotty McGee. And that Falcons defensive unit gets ready to go back on the field. Redmond, by the way, is 7 of 9 here in the game for 64 yards. After Bryant's field goal, it's a 3-0 Falcons lead. And it's McGee, after bobbling, will just track it down, and Jacksonville will start on their 20-yard line.
Well, what those first quarter numbers tell me, Randy, is the Falcons that are dressed, they came ready to play. And they're playing fast the way Mike Smith said that's what he wants the trademark to be. You see the numbers, complete domination, haven't given up a first down yet. They like to continue that. They've dominated the action. So, but they have some familiarity with Jacksonville. They scrimmaged them this year in Flowery Branch, had a chance to go up against them, get some work against them. So they have seen many of these players before. But this is the starting offensive line of the Jags, and a veteran quarterback in Luke McCown that can shut him down.
Snapping it to him is an 11-year veteran Meester, so he's calling the shots on the blocking schemes. They know what they're doing. Brock Boland, the second-year guy from Louisville, who's impressed a great deal at fullback here for Jacksonville on the carry right there. And if you tuned in for NBC's Thursday night comedy block, I want to thank you for joining us. If comedy is your thing tonight, not football, I want to remind you that NBC's comedy block on Thursday night is over on my ATL TV channel 36. Baldy and I will try to live up to the hype here and throw in a joke now and then.
Yeah, well, we'll keep it light here. It is entertainment.
2nd and 9 on the 21 after the fake, the draw. And that's right at the first down marker for Chad Cackert, a fullback, as he picks up 8.
Well, it's the old fake draw here. It's going to take these linebackers out of here. Once they see that fake, they run right by him. But excellent finish there at the end by the safety Shan Schillinger, the guy that we kind of showcased a little bit at the beginning of this game. But that's the way you come up and finish as a safety to stop a run from going any further.
Make it a 10-yard gain for the rookie from New Hampshire, Cackert. So it's 1st and 10 on the 30. And here he goes again without as much success as he is ridden out of bounds over there on the Falcons sideline. Let's go down to Fred Khalil. Has a guy I think you'll recognize with him.
Thank you, Randy. Here with quarterback Matt Ryan. And Matt, just talk a little bit about how Chris Redmond's running this offense so far.
Chris looks great tonight. He's throwing the ball really well, making good checks at the line of scrimmage. Had a chance for a touchdown, and then but he's really playing pretty good.
You said earlier this week the offense had to pick it up. You think that y'all have done that?
Yeah, I think we had a productive week of practice. We moved the ball pretty well here tonight, but again, we've got to make those plays when they present themselves.
It's often said the third year is always the big for the quarterback. Do you think this is the year?
Yeah, I think I think it could be a good year for us. For me personally, I feel a lot more comfortable in the offense. So, our expectations are high, but we've got to work really hard to go out there and compete like we want to.
Ready for this regular season to get going?
Yeah, I can't wait. Can't wait for next weekend. I think guys are fired up, so it'll be a lot of fun to get up to Pittsburgh.
Thank you, Matt.
All right, thanks, Fred.
3rd down and 8.
Baldy, 2 of your first 3 games are on the road. Let's, oh, by the way, at Pittsburgh and at the defending Super Bowl champions. We'll talk about the schedule a little bit more down the road here tonight, but that's quite a chore. 3rd and 8, Jacksonville looking for a first down here. Enjoyed a little success on this drive after pretty much being shut out most of the night. That is overthrown a hair for Kasim Osgood.
That was against the former Jaguar, Brian Williams, who had was a great free agent pickup here, coming back off of a major knee injury last year. Was a really key nickel contributor last year, covering the slot receiver. Very good at what he does, and he's still making that comeback from a major surgery. Good to see him just turn his hips and open up and one with the receiver like he did.
Dominique Franks, thanks to the play of the defense, getting a workout on the punt return unit. Fair catches that one at his 32-yard line. So the Falcons lead 3-0. That was a 37-yard punt, no return. Number 33 taking a rest here in Jacksonville tonight.
There's a whole lot of people that had their fantasy drafts this week, Randy. And Michael Turner was the 3rd or 4th pick off the draft board, hoping that he has a bounce-back season like he had 2 years ago.
They'll need him against that Steelers defense, that's for sure, as Redmond and company start on their own 32 on the short gain there, a couple of yards.
A couple missed opportunities in that last series. One, we see the old Jarius Norwood there, looking like J-Rock, taking it to the house, but called back because of a holding penalty by a receiver, and then Troy Bergeron with a chance to catch his second touchdown passes of this preseason, unable to hold that one in. So a couple of blown opportunities that could have produced touchdowns instead of the field goal by Matt Bryant.
2nd and 8. It is Nance behind Redmond, who fires quickly. That's complete at the 40, short of the first down. Gain of 6. Michael Palmer, another reception for him tonight.
It's a 3rd for Mike Palmer. You know, just a young rookie from Clemson that impresses, I think, with each ensuing preseason game right now. Talk about a guy that has flashed. Michael Palmer has flashed. I mean, he also shows that he could do something with the ball after he catches it.
Played high school hoops for 3 years in Parkview. He and his offensive mates, a 3rd and 2. Now on the 40. Falcons are 1 for 4 on 3rd down tonight. The shotgun, Redmond. And intended at the 35-yard line for Andy Strickland.
Now Redmond has had a good night tonight, but I thought he missed Palmer here. Watch Palmer, this little route across the middle. I think he was sitting right in the middle of the field, pretty surprised the ball didn't come to him. Redmond had protection, good protection. He had good vision. I think he might have made a wrong decision going to the outside.
So Kanan stands at his 25. McGee moves up on this one at his 20, almost lost his footing. Now gets his feet under him, but lots of white shirts around him by the time that occurred. So a 3-yard return after Kanan has a 40-yard punt. Rate for linebacker tutors.
Well, Mike Peterson on the left here has been taking the #1 pick here. Sean Witherspoon under his wing, and I don't know if you can put it. It's one of those commercials, like it's priceless. Mike enjoys that aspect.
Oh, pretty good pass by McCown, and it's dropped. Intended for Tyquan Underwood, second-year receiver from Rutgers.
Well, they've been going after Chevis Jackson throughout the preseason. They did as well. Tyquan Underwood got past him here. Luke laid it up perfectly. It's been a problem for Jackson. He just has not had sticky coverage. And even there, you know, one valiant effort at knocking the ball away in the air, he missed. And he's fortunate that ball was dropped.
2nd and 10 from the 22. One of the 2 fullbacks in the game on the carry right there, Brock Bolin. Let's go down on the field to Fred Khalil with Tony Gonzalez.
Okay, here with Tony Gonzalez. And Tony, just talk about how you're feeling going into this year with the Falcons, your second year with the Falcons.
No, I'm feeling great. As far as me individually, I really understand the offense obviously a lot better than I did at this point last year. But I think overall, especially on the offensive side of the ball, we're really starting to gel. It's their third year in this offense. Matt is coming along great, and the running game is back to where it should be with Michael Turner being healthy. So sky's the limit.
And everybody talks the Super Bowl. I mean, every team does. Just what are your thoughts on Super Bowl with this team, this unit, the way it is?
This is the most talented team that I've ever been on. There's no doubt about that. So we have the talent to do some damage this year, but we got to take it one game at a time. I know that's cliche. Nobody likes to hear it, but it is true. If we take it one game at a time, we're going to be a real good football team this year.
And there's always, 50-50 on retirement. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, right now, like I said, that too, I'm just taking it one season at a time. I feel great right now. I feel like I can play another 3-4 years. So it's just about going out there, making sure mentally that I'm there too.
And 1,000 receptions is right there. I mean, you're right there. Just talk about the contest going on with that.
Well, with Twitter, if you follow me on Tony Gonzalez 88, which is my call name on Twitter, and tweet at me 1,000 #1000catch, and we're going to draw it at random, and the winner will be able to. We're going to fly him out to a game. I'm going to give him the gloves from the game in Pittsburgh that I break the record with, and do a lot of other giveaways too. So it's going to be a good thing.
Okay, thanks, Tony.
All right, thanks.
All right, let's go back upstairs.
All right, thank you, Fred and Tony. Pressure from Anderson on the previous play forces the Jags to punt. 51-yarder. Falcons football when we come back. Jamal Anderson flushed out Luke McCown on that third down play. So after the punt now, the Falcons take over on the 28. McCown only 2 for 7 after being 2 of his first 3. A lot of pressure put on by the Falcons defense. And here's Redmond in the Falcons offense, and there's daylight. And a loose ball at the 38-yard line as Antone Smith lost the handle. Jacksonville says they have it. We'll see as they umpire.
Well, it's the good and the bad and the ugly of a young player.
That can't help his cause at all.
No, because I thought he relaxed a little bit after he broke free. He did a great job of being split over here by Speed Tech and Garrett Reynolds coming around, reads it perfectly. Now he's in the open field. That's a heck of a hit now. That's a safety that's trying to make this football team. Courtney Green ran right through him, but those are the type of hits that safeties are going to put on you. Troy Polamalu will be looking to do that in 10 days to all the Falcons.
Oh, yeah.
You've got to protect that ball. It's got to be the most important thing.
First and 10 on the 39 for Jacksonville as Coy Wire can't catch up with the running back who tried to bounce it outside and did. That's Chad Tacker.
For Antone Smith, that's the worst right there. On a night that he's trying to flash, he makes a great play, reads the blocks perfectly, shows his burst, shows a lot of the talent, and then he can't finish the play. And he coughed the ball up. That will upset any head coach.
15-yard gain, so first down at the 24. Packard again. Very little up the middle. I have a chance for you to get a lot, not a little, because on sale now there are a lot of single game tickets, including the home opener against Arizona, and the new Falcons 2-pack. You can pick 2 games and receive savings on both. Packages still available for those Saints and Packers games. That's AtlantaFalcons.com/tickets or email ticket services at falcons.nfl.com. AtlantaFalcons.com/tickets. or ticket services at falcons.nfl.com. Hello, young man. You're wearing the right kind of jersey.
Ain't in there on school night.
School?
Yeah.
McCown swings it out. And the Jacksonville offense coming to life a little bit after Bolden takes that. Good for a 6-yard catch and run.
Randy, for Antone Smith, the most important thing for him after fumbling is to forget about it. Just have amnesia and just let it go. He's hanging his head on the sideline, guys coming over. But really, the quicker he can just forget about it and move on, he's going to play more in this game. He's going to have opportunities. So to sit there and hang your head like he was, you got to get that out of the system as quickly as possible.
This is a 3rd and 2 for Jacksonville. Pitch and cut back. And touchdown for the Jaguars, Brock Bolin. 16 yards.
The Falcons had a chance to keep him out of the end zone. It was a good cutback by him. Mike Smith watching it on a replay up on the Diamond Vision screen. I thought that the safety on this play, I don't think it was William Moore. I'm not sure who it was. He had a chance to tackle him at the floor. He was not able to bring him down.
The point tacked on. So the first touchdown of the night is by the home team, Jacksonville. So the Falcons offense will have a chance to answer, trailing 7-3. Antone Smith will have a chance to redeem himself as he's going to return the kickoff. But let's take another look here.
Well, Shan Schillinger there had an opportunity to bring down Bolin at the 5-yard line. I mean, he's a safety. It's the last line of defense. His #1 job is to prevent touchdowns. That's just a missed form tackle. So that's something that, you know, should he be around here next week and the weeks after, something that he can't afford to have happen again.
Bolin's 16-yard run completed a 4-play, 39-yard drive that took 2 ticks under 2 minutes for Jacksonville, and Antone Smith will not get a chance to get right back into the fray because that'll be a touchback after the Jaguars kickoff as the Falcons will come out now trailing 7-3 after being up 3-0.
That's Brian Van Gorder there with the pictures of what just happened on that last play. It's the first time they really got gashed up the middle like that on the cutback. So somebody wasn't in their lane, and then once they got exploited, the safeties didn't do their job of making the tackle.
Chris Redmond still has the same offensive line in front of him that started the game. And that's Michael Palmer in motion. And Redmond wants to get a big chunk of it back. And that's a completion with a flag down. Brandon Harvey may get called for the push-off there.
I agree with you, Randy. He looked like, you know, he was trying to get separation and used both hands actually to push the defender down to make that catch.
Courtney Green, the guy who made the play on Antone Smith minutes ago.
Pass interference, number 17, offense, 10-yard penalty, replay first down.
Green was the defender wiping out a 38-yard gain by the rookie from Villanova.
What he has to do is learn how to use his body without his hands to really just come inside. He doesn't need to do that. Now, it wasn't real flagrant, but what all he saw was the defensive back falling down. And you're right, it wasn't, I mean, he's making his case there too.
Yeah.
You know, whoever, I mean, the water boy is making his case too right now.
Right.
He's trying to convince him that's probably not the guy that you need to talk to.
Well, I will go along with that one. Don't talk to me about the call against Michael Jenkins at New England last year. But
yeah,
that's another story.
Well, sometimes all you see is, you know, the defensive back falling down. It wasn't a major push-off, but it's a second infraction for granted tonight. It feels like he did something what I do to deserve this tonight.
Now Redmond will take advantage of a timeout here. That penalty was the Falcons' third of the night for 25 yards. Gives us a chance to kind of get your wheels turning. On our trivia question, our Gas South trivia question tonight, what year did this Atlanta Falcons franchise have its first winning season? Founded in 1966, remember. What year was that first winning season? Let you ponder that one for a few moments, our Gas South trivia question.
Well, the individual part of our team that came up with that trivia question spent an entire week coming up with that. So, I mean, it's been an awful lot of thought.
It's a good one.
By
I like
a very
it.
smart man.
I like it.
To come up with that question.
First and 20 on the 10. And Redmond calls a timeout. Okay, you've had a couple minutes. The first winning season was 1971. And they had to beat the Saints, the rival Saints, in the last game to finish 7-6-1, and had to score with less than a minute to go to win that game and have the winning record of 7-6-1. Claude Humphrey, by the way, was an All-Pro that year.
Steve Bartkowski, quarterback.
Okay, now set to go. 1st and 25 after that penalty. 4 penalties now for 30 yards against the Falcons. None for Jacksonville. Oh, that's open but overthrown as Strickland was cutting inside, cut toward the middle of the field.
Running a deep dig route. I think this ball missed by much. A little high. I thought Strickland could have stretched up a little bit higher to get that one in and help his quarterback out. That last penalty, by the way, Randy, was for back-to-back timeouts up at right for the offense.
We probably ought to give Strickland cut him a little slack there. It's not Finneran or Jenkins as far as height. Redmond in some trouble, and that's incomplete. Bergeron was the guy in the middle of that traffic who had it for a moment, but then it went to the ground.
Well, this isn't exactly what Mike Mularkey wants to call on 3rd and 25. Don't ever like to be in this situation,
the old
especially
3rd and 25 play.
Yeah, I mean, it actually has the fans standing on their feet there in the end zone of Jacksonville, trying to be that fatal 12th man, doing their part. Wouldn't surprise me to see Mike Mularkey just. There they are.
I can tell you where you really don't want to be in this position.
Yeah.
Heinz Field in 10 days.
No.
Oh boy. Oh, Redmond, did he get out of the end zone? Yes.
He called a draw, and he was looking to hand it off, and there wasn't anybody there to hand it off to. And the fans feel like they had something to do with it. And they might have, because there's a miscommunication. You can see this. He's ready to hand it off, and you had Smith and Nance in the backfield, and neither one of them thought they were the ball carrier.
Larry Hart got to Redmond. Michael Kanan is standing somewhere in the next county.
He's a lot closer to Joe Zelenka than he wants to be right now.
Exactly. He's on that. He's on the boundary right there. Look at him. And a whistle before Kanan can punt.
Can they back the Falcons up any further?
I don't know if that's mathematically possible.
That's going to give the fans something to cheer about.
There they are.
Let's see.
They had to reset the clock.
Fans don't care. They get another opportunity with the opposing punter right in front of them.
And Michael Kanan's making new friends down there in the end zone right now. Gets it away quickly and gets a lot of leg into it. Look at McGee backpedal inside his 40-yard line, but he has some room after the catch, and he's back down inside the Atlanta 45. I think I saw a flag fly relatively late there. A 61-yard punt by Michael Kanan.
Oh, it's in the air a long ways. That quieted the fans down. Like, oh.
Number 46.
Wow, that's some change of field position after this penalty. Dominic Frank's working against the double team, trying to get down the field here. Does a good job of. Well, he's fighting it. He's fighting it. He's being grabbed by a couple hands, but he gets the tackle.
When all is said and done, 1st and 10 on the 47. We're at the 5:16 mark here in the second quarter. Falcons trailing 7-3. Daylight over the left side. An 8-yard gain. Now, visit MillerLite-ATLLounge.com. Visit that website, MillerLite-ATLLounge.com, and then you might actually be visiting the Miller Lite ATL Lounge at the Georgia Dome, because when you visit that website, that'll give you a chance to win a couple of tickets, passes up to that lounge.
September 19th, home opener against the Arizona Cardinals, and just who is going to be their quarterback?
Well, The rumors are flying about Leinart not being around, and that is incomplete down at the 5-yard line. Tyquan Underwood, the intended receiver.
See, Tyquan Underwood was a rookie last year. He gets behind the rookie Dominic Franks here. Not a bad throw by Luke McCown. Actually, oh, I think Franks got a little tip of that ball. Nice job of just getting a little deflection right. Ooh. Made him just blink a little bit. That ball fell right through the breadbasket. Pretty good reaction by Franks, though. Just still trying to play that ball in the air. You can't get enough work like this for Franks, a rookie. Deep balls in the air. I mean, that's what sort of decides a lot of Sundays in this league, is how you play the ball in the air on balls that are 50 yards down the field.
Preseason coming in here, McCown had thrown 5 touchdown passes and 2 interceptions, 34 for 52 in the air overall in the preseason coming in.
Well, McCown has bounced around. You know, his brother has been in this league for a long time, comes from a very athletic family. He was in Cleveland. He was one of those 8 quarterbacks that John Gruden was keeping around in Tampa for a couple of years. Lost the quarterback derby last year in Tampa, was shipped out and found himself a home as the backup to their starting quarterback here in Jacksonville, who David Garrard is hoping they have a good season. Right here with the hat on.
He's in his 4th year as the starter here. McCown tonight's 3 out of 9 for 17 yards. Tony, I want to go back to, or excuse me, Baldy, I want to go back. Had a thought about Tony Gonzalez that we saw on the sidelines there a while back. As Mike Smith and the Falcons wait to get back to action here. But I asked him in camp earlier this week. There he is. Last year he had some interesting travels in the offseason. I said, anything interesting this offseason? He said, didn't really travel very far, but I had a long conversation with John Wooden.
Really?
I said, really? How'd that occur? And, you know, obviously Coach Wooden passed away, and then prior to his death, and I think it was in the spring in March, he said he got to sit and talk to him. They were at the same place in Mexico. And you'd have thought, I mean, Tony Gonzalez has seen a lot and done a lot.
But remember, his first love was basketball.
Yes.
You know, for a long time.
Played basketball at Cal, and to hear him talk about that conversation with Wooden, he was extremely excited about that opportunity, as any of us would be. Let's put it that way. Now that's to Ernest Wilford, the 7-year receiver from, tight end from Virginia Tech, and that reception good for 16 yards.
By the way, when I was 12, I wanted to play for the UCLA Braves and play for John Wooden as well. That fantasy ended by the time I was about 13.
You know, Cal was in the NCAA tournament one time, and against North Carolina. And Dean Smith told Tony, he said, "We got a little something for you." They went to zone, and Tony, they froze the Tar Heel zone. They froze him out.
Put him in a big freeze.
Yeah, put him in the big freeze. Chevis Jackson in on that play, the tackle. So it's 2nd and 8 now.
What we haven't seen here tonight, and something that we talked about at the very beginning, was takeaways. This would be a great opportunity right now. Time ticking down here in the 2nd quarter with the Jaguars moving to have a takeaway. It doesn't matter where it comes from. You want to continue that mentality of stopping teams by getting the ball back to your offense.
Regular season last year, the Falcons were +3 in the giveaway takeaway category as McCown drops and has tons of time until Trey Lewis starts to track him down from behind as he unloads it. Big Trey Lewis was tracking him.
Yeah, he got a chance to track him because of the coverage here by Dominic Franks. Pretty good job of turning around here. A little bit of separation there, but at that point McCown was on the rush, wasn't able to find him.
Got a flag down on that previous play, Brian, and I did not see it at the time, but indeed right now they're discussing it.
Back the quarterback's out of the.
Well, Al Riveron's mic kind of died on us.
Was he still inside the?
Looks like he's maybe still in the pocket. If that's the case, it would have been intentional grounding, but I don't believe that was the call.
Well, 3rd and 8, back on the 28. quickly to his right, and that's a completion, and I think it's just shy. Receiver Zach Miller dove for that marker.
Pretty good flash there by William Moore, the safety, to come up and make that hit and prevent that third down from being completed, forcing his fourth down. But one thing about William Moore right now, he looks like he's moving really well. And the burst is there. I mean, this is a big safety now that was drafted in the second round out of Missouri. It was a teammate of Sean Witherspoon. Those guys had a great run in the Big 12. And you get a big safety that can run and hit. It's a real advantage to any defense.
So we give Josh Scobie, a 76.7% career kicker in the regular season, a chance from 40. And Scobie, one of the best in the business, nails it to increase the Jacksonville lead from 7-3 to 10-3. So Mike Smith's team now looking at a one touchdown deficit. I want to remind you that we mentioned early on this evening that Thomas Dimitroff is going to be here in the third quarter to visit with us, and that I think you'll find that a fascinating conversation. Before that, coming up at halftime, Sam Crenshaw back in our studios in Atlanta, and a look at the first half, of course, and a unique story involving that man, Thomas Dimitroff, and his passion. Now, his other passion aside from football, which if you don't know about this, you're going to say, what? Mountain biking. And he's not a professional, but he's doggone close.
Well, he attacks those mountain courses much the way he attacks this game. His hands are all over this. I mean, he's the architect here of this team. They've just turned this roster around in the last 3 years now, and they love to see the payoff. That's an offensive line that's what they should do. They should hover, hang together, stay together, graze together. They look like they all got dressed in the same closet. That's a group that's really, if they play as well as they can, this offense can be a top 5 offense in this league. And it's all built around them.
Here's Scobie to kick off to Anton Smith. And nope, not going to bring this one out. The Jacksonville drive, by the way, was 7 plays, 31 yards, and it took them 2:08. The Falcons have 3:01 on the clock here in the second quarter as Chris Redmond and the offense get the ball back on their 20.
Well, they burned a couple of timeouts in that last drive, trying to just get the right formation and personnel on the field. So they're a little short here, but normally in this part of the field, if you're going to try to make a run for points, you usually start with a draw or a screen. Try to get a little momentum and get a positive yards in the first play.
Nance is the running back alongside Redmond. From the 20. Redmond, Nance can't shake free of the defender, so that's only a gain of 3 yards with Scott Starks on the coverage.
And Redmond puts him into hurry-up mode, calling the play right at the line of scrimmage.
Quickly to his right, and that's Strickland at the 30. Should be a first down, gain of 7.
Yep, it is a first down. They're moving the chains.
Clock moving, 2:25.
Plenty of time. Like to get another play to the sideline. Maybe get 2 plays off before the 2-minute warning.
Nance picked up a blitz nicely. Now that's complete, but cannot get out of bounds. Strickland again on the reception, so we'll be down at the 2-minute warning before they can run another play. And indeed, clock hits 2 minutes. So Redmond, Mike Mularkey, they'll talk it over. Michael Palmer, Andy Strickland, Ryan Wolf, Dimitri Nance breaking the huddle. Redmond and the Falcons offense just picked up their first down of the second quarter, now trying to manage the clock and get down the field to get something on the board, and that is complete at about the 46-yard line. Let's go down to the sideline to Fred Khalil.
Here with strong safety Eric Coleman. And Eric, just talk about the upgrades that have been made in the secondary in the offseason and your thoughts on it.
Oh, adding Dante Robinson was an upgrade, a complete upgrade in itself. You know, he's a great player. He brings a lot of leadership to our secondary, and you know, it's just been a pleasure to have him on the team.
As a strong safety, you of course run the secondary. Just talk about your leadership role in this defense.
You know, I'm in charge of getting guys in line, making sure everyone's playing the right coverage, everyone's playing the same coverage, and you know, it's just part of the job, being a leader, helping out the young guys. You got a lot of rookies in here, just trying to weed them along and help them just to play football and not think.
You know, you're also the union rep. Just talk a little bit about what you're telling the players about what's going on with the collective bargaining agreement.
Well, right now, I've just been telling everyone to stop with the, you know, don't make any big purchases, save your money, and just in case, you know, you never know what could happen, and hopefully we don't get locked out, but, you know, because we all love to play this game, and it's been wonderful for all of us, and it would be a shame not to be able to play.
Okay, Eric, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Eric Coleman.
Thanks, Fred. The Falcons have entered the Ford drive zone after the 22-yard completion to rookie Ryan Wolf, kid from UNLV. So 1st and 10 on the 14. Still over a minute to go here in the second quarter. Here's Redmond again. That's to Strickland inside the 10 before he is stopped. 5-yard gain on the play. And here's Redmond calling another one quickly.
Very impressive drive here by Chris Redmond. I mean, pinpoint, laser-type throws, right on the money, right reads, and he's running this drill to perfection.
That's into the corner for Harvey and incomplete.
Brandon Harvey, who's been competing tonight on the outside, gets outside. You can see this ball's being thrown to the corner. I think he was looking for it on the inside. He's got to be able to adjust to it, but the ball was overthrown.
3rd and 4 on the 8, and they don't want to settle for 3. Redmond had 7 straight completions until that throw to the corner for Harvey.
You get back to it. He's got 5 receivers here who can win.
Oh, that's a hit over the middle as the ball falls incomplete. Palmer took a shot.
They took a shot from Sean Considine, the safety on this play, but it shows you the confidence that Redmond has in him. That he can throw it over there. You can take that kind of hit and bounce up.
Considine, a 6-year man from Iowa. And so Kanan to a knee at the 17-yard line. So a 27-yard attempt here from Matt Bryant. Has already made one tonight. And trying to get the Falcons within 4. Bryant from 27 is good. So no touchdowns for the Falcons tonight. I know that's disappointing to them, but Chris Redmond has certainly flashed some command of the offense here as he tries to tune up in preparation to be number 2 on the depth chart. Now, we told you about some previous deals, ticket packages. There's also a 4-game pack that starts under $40 per game, and new this season, a food and ticket package. Brian Baldinger's ears just perked up. A food and ticket package.
It's getting near halftime.
That includes a midfield seat, hamburger or hot dog, chips and Coke, all for $65. I think that guy right there, not Redmond, the previous guy would be interested. Visit AtlantaFalcons.com/tickets or call 404-223-8444. 404-223-8444.
There's going to be some fireworks in the Georgia Dome this year. I mean, you're going to see Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers come to town. You're going to see Ray Lewis and the Baltimore Ravens come to town. Drew Brees is coming in late December. A lot of division games in the NFC South being played late in this year.
Well, those 2 teams you mentioned before, speaking of Brees, you've got Aaron Rodgers and Joe Flacco. There's 2 more guys, Rodgers not in his 3rd year, but 3rd-year starter.
3rd-year starter.
And Flacco in his 3rd-year period like Matt Ryan. So some fireworks, as you say, no doubt, on tap at the Georgia Dome. We're under a minute here now, and the second quarter as Kanan's kick is returned to the 21-yard line, a 22-yard return. Redmond on that drive was 7 of 9 for 72 yards. He's 15 out of 22 overall for 142.
I think anybody would be disappointed in what Chris Redmond did in the first half. We'll see John Parker Wilson in the second half for the Falcons. The only thing disappointing was to Chris Redmond is, they didn't score a touchdown. Thought he had an excellent shot to Troy Bergeron in that first quarter that was dropped. And
the run called back.
Yeah.
Jarius Norwood down the sideline, down the left sideline. Jaguars looking to run out the clock and pick up 10 on the play. But that'll take the clock to 0 here in the second quarter before they get another one off. So they'll take a 4-point lead into the locker room at halftime. 10-6, Mike Smith's team will go in and regroup, and as Baldy said, we'll see John Parker Wilson in the second half after the only Falcons scoring in the first half was by the man you saw there for a moment, Matt Bryant. Joined Sam Crenshaw in our 11 Alive studios, and again, you'll see a different side of Thomas Dimitrov, and he'll visit with us in the third quarter tonight.
The Falcons preseason has been brought to you by Miller Lite. Choose a triple hops brewed Miller Lite with that great Pilsner taste. Taste greatness. And Clear. It's all the internet you'll ever need.
Back here at Everbank Field in Jacksonville, Florida, Falcons getting ready to kick off to start the third quarter, and glad to tell you that in our booth here, we've already cornered Rich McKay and Arthur Blank this year, and now it's your turn.
I'm ready.
Falcons general manager Thomas Dimitrov. He says he's ready for us. He's ready for this line of questions. What do you think so far tonight? Defense has allowed only 100 total yards to the Jaguars in this first half.
This defense, I thought, the last couple games has really stepped up, and they've shown a lot of aggressiveness. And they have a lot of duties to perform out there and on the fly. So I think they've done a nice enough job. We still have a lot of mending to do in certain areas, so we're doing all right.
Do you, if you will, the old phrase, earn your money in situations, Thomas? Because it's a little harder to evaluate, is it not, when the pieces around any given player on any given play are, shall we say, different than they might be during the regular season?
Oh, there's no question. Preseason is just a challenge at so many crossroads. There are just so many situations when you're not sure where you're going to be and who's going to be on the field and what scheme we're going to be playing. It's just a complicated time. It's good for us to evaluate the players, to how they're moving around with the other players on the field, obviously, but it's a difficult time.
Thomas, just talk a little bit philosophically. I mean, I know that Coach Mike Smith is really just paranoid about injuries, losing players in the preseason, a bunch of starters not out here tonight. But just that balance between hitting, between playing, between getting ready for a team like the Steelers September 12th and protecting players and not putting them in harm's way.
Well, we're hypersensitive to that right now, Baldy, because of last year. We had the injuries that plagued us, and it put us back at so many different levels. But this year we've tried to be very mindful, and Dante Robinson's a perfect example. He could have played last week. This week he could have played, obviously, but we paid a lot of money for him. We know what to expect out of him, but we're really, really sensitive about making sure we go into Pittsburgh as healthy as we can be.
Sure.
Speaking of going into Pittsburgh, I think it's interesting. Okay, last year, your organization, you have a road game at New England. That's of course where you kind of learn the business, if you will, in a lot of ways, at least that level of the business. And then this year, the regular season opener is at Pittsburgh. I know you have tons of respect for the Rooney family and what that organization has done over the years. And here you are, you're going up there, and you are of a mindset that, 9-7, it's good to have that winning record again. But just like the Pittsburgh Steelers, that's where you want to be, isn't it? 9-7 is not where you want to be.
No question about it. We've talked about that. We've been very candid, from our owner to Mike Smith to myself, as far as what our expectations are, and the expectations, though they're inside our building, they are strong. They're big and strong expectations, and we expect a lot out of the players to continue to rise up and perform.
New quarterback in there, by the way, and he goes down. That's Trevor Harris, a rookie from Edinburgh. And if you don't know, I know Thomas knows because he's been to every campus in North America.
Oh, nobody knows America, Matt.
it's Edinburgh's in Pennsylvania, due north of Pittsburgh. That brings up a 4th and 2 here as Jacksonville will punt it away. bounce out of bounds over at about the 37-yard line. So we'll take a break, but we will have Thomas Dimitroff with us again as the Falcons talks it over on the sideline.
The Falcons preseason is brought to you by SunTrust, official bank of the Atlanta Falcons. Bud Light, here we go. And Falcons TV on demand, only on Xfinity TV.
Ball was marked at the 35-yard line. John Parker Wilson now at quarterback for the Falcons as they take over 1st and 10 here. And he'll hand it off to Smith, trying to go up over the left side. Somebody lost their hat on that one, Thomas. We have General Manager Thomas Dimitroff here with us, and we thought we'd like to get his thoughts on a number of groups of personnel going back to, of course, the first year of the 2008 draft. And we know you got a quarterback and left tackle. I thought it was interesting that played a team last week in the preseason that got a quarterback and a left tackle, Chad Henne and Jake Long, in that same draft. What are your thoughts as you look at the list of guys who came out of that draft?
Well, obviously Curtis Lofton is going to be a strong point for us for years to come. We're excited about his development. He's going to work very well with this other tandem in the linebacker group.
John Parker scrambling out of trouble and throwing that one away. And then, of course, 2009. I would imagine as you anxiously await to see how Parade Jerry and William Moore have responded to treatment and now getting in game condition, is it a little bit frustrating? You're kind of in the same role the rest of us are. All you can do now is wait.
There's no question. Those two guys are talented football players. They've actually had nice springs and summers, obviously, with they're trying to heal. And they're playing with some of their injuries. But William had a heck of a game, I thought, earlier here. I mean, he's a physical guy, and we're looking for nice development with him.
Was that one of the attributes that stood out about him?
Physicality, no
Yes.
question. That draft really, as we go down that draft, I am excited about the development of some of those guys with Chris Owens and Lawrence Sidbury, and even our guy in Reynolds. I mean, he's an offensive lineman Garrett's going to continue to come along. So, though the first two guys, we need to see what's going to happen out here. We're watching closely. We're expecting production out of them this year.
Yeah, Garrett Reynolds, in my mind, might be one of those guys you look at 3 years down the road and go, oh yeah, he was part of that draft. Where he wasn't one or two. And hey, that's how you build. That's how you build depth, and that's how you have a core. And inside the 15-yard line, after the Canaan punt, with a whole lot of room back up to midfield, and Keith Armstrong can't be too happy about that. So McGee finally driven out of bounds on the far sideline. Thomas Dimitroff will be back with us when we return. Chris Redmond on the right, his work done for the evening. John Parker Wilson sitting as his defensive teammates now face Jacksonville. It takes over 1st and 10 on their 43 after the 53-yard punt, but 37-yard return. And that is strung out very nicely by the defensive unit, Thomas Dimitroff. As you watch some of these young guys on the defensive side develop, you probably have to take a lot of pride because, I mean, you've made no secret of it. That's kind of where your focus has been in the draft recently.
Our focus has been there. We've talked about becoming more urgent, faster. There's no question this defense is fast, and it's an athletic defense. Now we just need to hone their skills and make sure they understand our scheme properly.
We'll take a look at that group and get Thomas's thoughts on that momentarily. 2nd and 13 after a loss of 3, and Harris rolling to his right, completing a pass short of a first down, but up at the 48-yard line before driven out of bounds. Now that draft, of course, Sean Weatherspoon, the headliner in layman's terms, if you will. We didn't see Corey Peters tonight. What have been your evaluation of, I guess, especially Peters and Johnson, 2nd and 3rd guys you got?
Well, quite honestly, obviously, Sean, everyone expects big things out of him, and he's had a really nice camp. Corey Peters has been the guy that's caught most attention in this camp this year because he's a guy that we got in the 3rd round. Expectations are solid, but not, grand, and he's really stepped up and done a really nice job. Combination of athleticism and power.
And that's incomplete. Pretty good pass rush
This time there by Sidbury here down at the bottom. The guy's got long arms and is still learning the game here, but it takes a good path to the quarterback there. good angle. And it's, you know, a guy that I think that is still learning and figuring his game out. I mean, you still play him on special teams right now. He's in the rotation as you shuffle defensive line throughout the game.
He's a very athletic guy, long arms, can cover a lot of ground. He can turn the corner too. He's gaining more and more confidence.
Falcons will get it back again, but where? Well, the answer is inside the 5, and you just have to hand it to the Jags special teams right there. That was well executed, and General Manager Thomas Dimitroff will be back with us after this. As we said, Redmond on the sidelines now, and John Parker Wilson, he and the offense, they've had better field position. They're starting on their own 3-yard line, and Nance tries to punch it out there and gets it just over the 5 to about the 6-yard line. Thomas, your thoughts on John Parker Wilson?
John Parker has really impressed us this offseason and into this preseason. He can make things happen. You know, he has the feet and the movement to scramble and play in the pocket and get out and roll as well. And you know, he's got a strong arm, and he does have an accurate ability about him. And we're excited about his development so far.
2nd and 7 now, and Wilson to throw from the end zone, now to run from the end zone, and just out over the 10-yard line.
Thomas said we looked at the draft. You know, one other component here is just free agency, and you've hit free agency here in the last couple of years, led by Dante Robinson this year. Mike Peterson has been brought in here to kind of help lead and be a good weak side linebacker for you. Your thoughts on some of the guys that you've brought in and just their contribution so far?
I mean, most of the veterans that we've brought in have been very important for us, not only on the field skill-wise, but also leaders. And we don't feel that they're in the back end of their career. We really believe they can continue to produce. Obviously, Dante's a little different situation there, but that's important for us with these older guys.
Is that the toughest thing about assessing free agents? Is how much sand is left in that hourglass?
No question. When you're sitting across the owner and asking for $50 million plus to sign someone, you know, there's no question that's difficult at times. But I think, you know, the interesting thing, just to put it in perspective, when you're scouting college players, you're comparing. You're not really sure what you're comparing to. When you're comparing pro players, it's apples, you know, apples and apples. You know what I'm saying? So you know how they've been producing in the league, and then you make a determination there. But it's not always easy when you're writing a big check like that.
No, certainly not. No doubt about it. Kanan from his end zone. And again, Michael Kanan just clobbers it inside the 40-yard line is McGee, but some daylight there again before he's hammered over by the Falcons sideline. But he bounces back up. 51-yard punt by Michael Kanan. We'll be back with General Manager Thomas Dimitroff when we return. Midfield, 1st and 10 for Jacksonville after the Kanan punt. Let's take a look at the special teams lick on that play. As a matter of fact, things can get pretty woolly down there. This Raphael Bush, Thomas, is the guy who was right on McGee as he. Oh, there it was.
That's a shot that will catch your eye.
I love to see that.
You know?
Physicality.
You can't do those in OTAs and mini camps or anything. That's a way to finish a play.
Raphael, he's a hard-charging safety for us, and you know he'll have a chance to develop with us. So you know, we like what we've seen so far.
Rookie from South Carolina State. Only a gain of 2 on the previous play, and here's Harris to throw to an open receiver, and that's a good tackle in open space.
Let's just take a look here at Lawrence Sidbury. I mean, he's coming off the edge here. He's got that low stance now. He's working up against a backup tackle here, but I mean, it's a pretty good move right there just to get a little separation. He's trying hard to turn that corner just to get that quarterback to see some color, maybe flush him a little bit quicker than he wants to get rid of the ball.
You know, Lawrence worked it with the MMA group this year, and he's worked on his hand use and his ability, again, to get upfield and turn the corner with, you know, with athleticism and leverage. And again, he's a guy that continues to believe in himself. He's a 1AA guy from Richmond, so I mean, he comes in here a little bit green, and this year he believes that he can, you know, he can get upfield and play against the big boys. So that's what we want to see.
Spencer Atkins nicked up on that play, just had to be helped to his feet, and as you can see now, is being helped off. Second-year linebacker from Miami who's really shown some flashes on special teams. Let's take a look at some of the defensive moments in this game. Oh, hello, Jamal Anderson.
You know, one thing, Thomas, that Mike talked about earlier tonight, even with a lot of the backups playing, was the trademark of this defense is to play fast. Get upfield, force the quarterbacks into bad plays, flush these quarterbacks, and really trap these running backs before they can even get started.
Mike is a D coordinator at heart, and there's not, you know, when we came in here and we started building on the offense, I mean, I don't know how many times he'd walk through the hallway and say, are you kidding me? Can we not start building this defense? But, I mean, no question. We both want a defense that people are going to be, you know, thinking, wow, we have to go in and play this defense. This is an agitating defense, and that's what we want.
Third down play here for Jacksonville, and Trevor Harris, the rookie from Edinburgh. You've been to Edinburgh, haven't you?
I have.
I knew it. We used to call them Edinburgh State. I guess they're just Edinburgh now. First down completion there for the Jaguars. 7-yard gain.
William Moore coming up from the safety position and putting a little tattoo on the receiver on the quick slant. Dominic Franks, the rookie.
William Moore has been waiting for almost 2 years now to come in here and be physical these last couple games. So I know it's pent up there. He's showing physicality that we're looking for back there. He's a big guy who can run well, and we just need him to continue to learn our defense.
Well, I'm sure when you were evaluating William Moore last year, Sean Witherspoon continued to show up when you were watching him at Missouri and studying the defense there.
Yeah, those two guys fed off of each other very well, and you know, for us, Witherspoon's the type of guy that has the range to get from sideline to sideline as well. He can turn around and run with backs and coverage. That's what we needed in our will type of linebacker.
Well, you mentioned that when you were, I saw you at a public speaking situation a few weeks ago, and you mentioned to the group gathered that, no secret about it, in New England sometimes you had to draft, or you did draft, with the thought in mind, okay, how do we slow down the Indianapolis Colts offense? And as you draft now, as you look now, what the Saints have done offensively in the NFC South, is that uppermost, or at least prevalent in your thought process?
There's no question it's in our thought process. I mean, we need to defend that, you know, juggernaut of an offense. We need to be able to run underneath and cover the tight ends and cover the backs. There's no point in putting a guy out there on Reggie Bush and expect him to run if he's not, you know, in the 4.5s. And you know, Sean Witherspoon is a very athletic guy who can run, and he's got this ramped up level of enthusiasm that we need on this defense going forward.
Having looked at him again, Baldy brought this up, but did that really help? You were kind of up the road a little bit in evaluating Witherspoon, weren't you, because of William?
Yeah, I mean, the guy catches your eye all the time.
Yeah.
We really thought that he was going to come out the prior year, quite honestly, and he stayed in, which was good for him. He was a little heavy last year. We got him down to where we want to be in the 35 to 38 range, and he's moving around well.
Well, I know that the mountain biking is suffering now. There's no time to get on the bike.
No, there's not much time. There's not much time for that.
But that's okay.
No, I get on my stationary bike and watch film when I can, but no, things have changed a little bit now that we're in the season.
Is it? This is a 49-yard field goal attempt, by the way, by Scobie. It's a little different for you now, though. You don't get to see as many players in person as you did before. You have to rely on that scouting staff. Everybody does.
We have a really good scouting staff led by Les Snead, Dave Caldwell, Lionel Vitale. They're quality evaluators, and that's very important.
All right, Thomas Dimitrov, thank you so much. Enjoyed it, as always, very much.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Randy.
you.
Baldy, appreciate you, brother.
It's now a 13-6 game, and back after this. Dominic Franks, among those on the bench at the moment, catching their breath. That was a 7-play, 19-yard drive.
It felt like 19 years for them to go down the field, or 19 days or something. It seemed like a long time.
For Jacksonville, as Mike Smith looks on. Anton Smith back to return the kick from the Jags. .428 left, third quarter. Smith thought about it, then thought better of it. So John Parker Wilson and company will start at the 20-yard line.
Let's see if the Falcons get something going here. I mean, what we haven't seen from John Parker Wilson here is really any kind of a deep ball or really seen his athleticism, where if he doesn't like what he sees, he's got the ability to turn, take the ball down and really take off with it.
You know what I'd love? I'd love a chance to see an Xfinity touchdown replay.
Okay.
Because we've seen two field goals by the guys in white, and that's it so far this evening. And John Parker Wilson under pressure, but got out and got the ball out, and Klecko didn't know it's incomplete.
Dan Klecko is one of my favorite players in this league. First of all, I play with his dad, his father Joe, but here he's coming out of the backfield here on this bootleg action. And kind of bobbled a little bit, but that's what you would expect from a guy that came into this league as a defensive tackle. I still think he'd be one of their best pass rushers inside if he was playing defensive tackle. He's been a linebacker for the Patriots. He's been a fullback with the Eagles and now the Falcons. Loves the game.
He's got 2 Super Bowl rings from the Patriots and 1 from the Colts. So you can't argue about that. And at the moment, he's having a discussion.
I saw him in a high school all-star game in New Jersey one time where his dad told me he was going to be the MVP of the game at defensive tackle. And I said, well, that's what a defensive tackle's father should say. Except he did block the winning field goal to allow them to win the all-star game. And he was the MVP.
Third and 8. And that's a completion for a first down at the 32-yard line.
Good throw by John Parker Wilson. Now that's a big-time throw. Good protection up front. Jose Valdez right here doing a good job passing the stunt. Wilson stayed in there. These are the kind of throws you got to make if you want to be a starter in this league. Pinpoint, enough for the first down, only where Troy Bergeron could get it. He continues to impress like that. Good decision.
Neither team doing well on third down conversions here tonight, but Falcons got one there. And got some on the ground there from Smith. 7 yards.
Well, Anton Smith, he's not a big guy. He's 5'9", he's 190 pounds. I mean, almost what Thomas Dimitroff was telling us here is put the guys with their talents in the best position. Get Anton Smith to the outside. Let him use his speed and his quickness, rather than just maybe pounding him into the middle of the offensive line. So find what guys can do best and allow them to use that in whatever play that is being called, maximizing each guy's potential.
So Bill Musgrave giving Smith a pat as he came back to the bench there. That's Nance for a gain of 3. And we talked about Mike Smith having coached here in Jacksonville. Good heavens. Bill Musgrave, Paul Boudreau, Ray Hamilton, Alvin Reynolds, all Brian Van Gorder, of course, all members of the Falcons staff. There's try to get a shot. There he is, Bill Musgrave on the sideline. All members of the Falcons staff who at one time or another were here in Jacksonville.
And still remembered here. So, a number of people from the Jacksonville brass coming over and saying hello to a lot of them before the game.
John Parker Wilson's pass is tipped, so it's incomplete. Our Gas South fan cam shows you exactly what goes on before the game as Brian Baldinger is doing his homework. This is before the game, Thomas Dimitroff. Before the game, Arthur Blank. And talking to the coaches from the Jacksonville sideline as well.
I was telling
and then it's really intense. It's putting the binoculars on the field and getting after it.
I love working the field before the game.
You do.
I was telling Jack Del Rio that I saw him running sprints before the game, and I said, it looked really ugly.
And if you folks don't know, he was a heck of a linebacker at Southern Cal and then in the National Football League.
But I told him I wish I could still run. As ugly as it was, I told him I wish I could still run like Jack did.
Now this brings up a 3rd and 3 now. There's Jack Del Rio.
Now you give Jack credit now. When he came here, he developed Mike Smith, gave him an opportunity to coach the defensive line, then to be his defensive coordinator here. They had a great deal of success, a couple of good seasons with Mike Smith as a defensive coordinator. And Mike Smith doesn't forget that.
I think between Baltimore and Jacksonville, they were together for 8 seasons.
Yeah.
total between those two places.
Jack was in Baltimore there with Brian Billick, and then went on to Carolina. Then became the head coach here and brought Mike Smith with him.
Michael Palmer, another catch for the young man from Clemson.
You know, and Jack really allowed Mike to run the defense, call it up and, you know, install it, coach it, and coordinate.
John Parker Wilson is 4 for 8 for 27 yards here tonight. Has a first down on the 42 of the Jaguars. Flags down before that play can be completed. That's going to be on the offense. So it'll be 1st and 15. Mike Smith looking on from the sideline. And when they came to Flowery Branch to practice, it was interesting to watch the dynamic, because you could tell that the communication, being what it was between Mike Smith and Jack Del Rio, was one of the things that enabled that to happen.
Well, it was respect. Yep. Okay, this isn't going to be a brawl. We're not going to fight out here today. We want to get some quality work, you know, against another jersey, another team here. We can work on our fundamentals, and I think there was probably a deep understanding. But that understanding comes out of a great respect that both guys have for each other.
And now, the roar of the Jaguars.
That's the end of the third quarter. So Mike Smith and Jack Del Rio both have 15 more minutes of preseason football before their regular season openers, and we'll be with them right to the end. Antone Smith carrying the ball out of bounds, flag down as we start the fourth quarter.
There's the speed of Antone Smith, though, to get to the corner and then turn it. And then, you know, he brings a little bit something with him when he's getting ready for contact, too.
Let's go down to Fred Khalil.
Okay, thank you. Here with John Abraham. And Abe, just talk a little bit about the defensive line this year and your thoughts on the group.
Oh, they're looking good. A lot of the younger guys are stepping up and really becoming pros. I think Jamal Anderson's had a good camp, and Corey Bierman has really showed a lot.
Now, you as the elder statesman, you're obviously a leader, but I mean, do you help the young guys out?
Yeah, I talk more trash to them now, though, because it's the preseason. You know, I told them, like, all this is, like, real nice and cute, but the season's starting next week, and it's going to get real serious.
Talk a little bit about your off-season training regimen down in Florida, a little bit south of here.
Yeah, I was down with Pete Marino. There's a lot of guys from the NFL, a lot of key players, especially like even Jones Drew was down there with me. A lot of guys, I guess, that were kind of made it good in the league were down there. So I wanted to just change up a little bit this offseason, so I went down there, and I had a great time.
What was different about it? What did you do?
We did more football-related stuff. And also, I got, like I said, I got to work with people that I know that were key in the league, like big names in the league.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, let's go back upstairs.
Thanks, Fred. 9-yard completion to Ryan Wolf there from John Parker Wilson, and the Falcons are in the forward drive zone. 1st and 9 on the 9.
There's Wilson's athletic ability, just getting out of the pocket and then being accurate, like pinpoint accuracy on the sideline. Nice job of keeping the feet in bounds and making a play that's a staple of this offense, which is basically that bootleg.
Nance behind Klecko, and it's Nance with the ball, met about a yard or so past the line of scrimmage, and then carries to the 7-yard line.
They're going to need a return to form of John Abraham. You know, a guy that had 16.5 sacks and was a dominant player at key points of games 2 years ago in their playoff run and that 11-5 turnaround season. And then last year kind of a drop back to 5.5 sacks. But a guy that wants to return to form, sitting next to Troy Bierman there, that could be a good duo there coming off the edges this year.
12th play of the drive coming up. 2nd and 7 from the 7. Parker Wilson threads it in there, but it's dropped. And you have to credit some defensive tenacity there as well against Brandon Harvey.
No, but it's a good confidence measure there by Wilson to be able to stick that ball in there in tight coverage down there inside, right there at the goal line. You know you got to get it there early. It's got to be hurry, and it's got to be pinpoint.
It was right there.
It was right where Brandon should have caught it, but that's a good throw in a tight space.
So 3rd and 7 on the 7. That ball knocked away. That's just a good defensive play by Jacksonville right there. There's no question of that. Sean Considine reached in and knocked it away.
Well, watch these guys in the back here. I mean, they're playing the goal line. Nobody's in the end zone. So basically, it's their Star Wars defense right there at the goal line, and Considine played that ball perfectly.
This will be from 25 for Matt Bryant, who's been the only guy who's put points up there. There were Bierman and Abraham that Baldy just mentioned. And here's Bryant. From 25, Matt Bryant is true, so it's a 4-point deficit now. Jaguars leading it by a score of 13-9. Oh, we got a flag on this play. So hold the bus here for a minute.
That's still going to be field goal is going to be good. Personal foul will be marked off
on the ensuing kick. All right. So we will indeed pause for a couple of minutes here in Jacksonville.
The Falcons preseason is brought to you by Ford. Win a pair of 2011 Sideline season tickets at defendthedome.com. And more savings, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot.
Some of the guys taking it easy here, Baldy, but 10 days they won't be taking it easy.
That might be the best they feel all year right there, Randy. That little seat right there in Jacksonville.
Behind them. Yeah,
relax on the bench. They may never feel that good until next February.
And that, folks, comes from the perspective of a guy who played in the league.
Oh yeah,
so he knows.
They give that health report every week, or you're doubtful. I mean, everybody's doubtful in their mind every Wednesday during the season, but game time, there was a lot of those nicks heal up quickly.
After the penalty, Kanan is kicking from the 45. It's a wonder that thing didn't end up in the St. Johns River. So Jacksonville will start from the 20. Let's talk about where the Falcons start in 10 days, as we mentioned. 2 of the first 3 on the road, by the way, at Pittsburgh and at the defending Super Bowl champions, my heavens, and then San Francisco, at Cleveland, and at Philly.
And and everybody in the Falcons is just looking at Pittsburgh. And there's some reports tonight that Byron Leftwich may have been injured tonight, which might make Dennis Dixon a second-year player as a starting quarterback. And that, I think, would help their causes. 2 weeks later that, they go to New Orleans, see the Super Bowl champion. So it's a strong schedule to start.
Roethlisberger reportedly meets with Roger Goodell, NFL commissioner, Friday. That will have no impact on the situation in game 1. He's trying to get the penalty reduced to fewer games, not to no games.
There at Cincinnati, the AFC North Division champs from a year ago. They were undefeated in that division last year. Bye in the middle of the season, I think, comes at a good time. But, some games there with Tampa. Baltimore is going to be just a heck of an opponent. They just got a little stronger last week by getting a trade for a cornerback that they really needed.
2nd and 3 play. That's a first down for Jacksonville with Colby Smith. Gain of 5.
And as the season winds down, I mean, most of these games finish with divisional games that will decide a division that in 8 years, Randy, they've never had repeat winners. So, at Tampa, at Carolina, then finishing at New Orleans and Carolina, 4 of their final 5 games, NFC
games,
South games, yeah.
And you saw those 3 games, 3 of those last 5, 3 straight on the road. It could be worse. I mean, Tampa Bay and Carolina are not long trips. So the longest trip is on the back end of that to Seattle to play the Seahawks. Fred Khalil now on the sidelines with Jason Snella.
Okay, Jason, thank you very much for joining us. Jason, just talk about the preseason and so far how it's going for you.
Oh, it's going well. It's an opportunity to hone in on the skills you need to go in the regular season. Opportunity for a back like me to get a little bit more carries and really get ready for the regular season. It's going pretty well.
I mean, we see you run. You're a bruising back, but yet you're able to catch the ball out of the backfield. Just talk about how you're able to be a little bit diverse out there.
Oh yeah, I'm catching the ball out the backfield as a running back. It's a big part of our offense. I have a lot of opportunities being a 3rd down back. So it's something I really work on in my game, and it shows on the field.
A guy you had a chance to see closely, Michael Turner. What's a slim down Michael Turner like?
He's looking quick. Running hard. He's always ran hard. He got that step back, and he's looking good out there. And we're excited that he's healthy, and we look forward to doing big things in our backstory.
The Falcons do a lot of work in the community. I want you to tell us about your work with the Epilepsy Foundation and what you do for them.
I do many things. Just really, I'm really a voice, a face, behind epilepsy. I have epilepsy myself, so being an NFL player, I'm on a plateau to spread the word about epilepsy, let everybody know what it is and what they can do to help. And, I do the most I can to spread the word and just be a big part of the epilepsy community.
Well, we wish you the best. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Fred. Certainly Jason is an example to everyone that you can deal with something like epilepsy and be very, very productive.
But not just
yeah, exactly.
I mean, Randy, to be an NFL player,
and
to have had
the highest level,
to have had epileptic seizures. I mean, I think that just hearing that from him, for anybody that might have had something like that can scare you so much.
Right.
To see that it can be controlled and
yes.
you can still have a professional football life, I think is really noble.
Well, yeah, someone else who might have it and wonder, how is this going to affect me?
Am I going to be handicapped the rest of my life because of this?
Can I function day to day? Well, yes, you sure can if you do what your medical advisors tell you, just like Jason Snelling, and he follows what they tell him to the letter. And there's Harris, and he dumps it off. Little check down pass, and that's a good play for Jacksonville down to the 31-yard line. We've had only one touchdown this evening. That was by the Jaguars. So let's take a look at our touchdown replay, courtesy of Xfinity. This is Bolin, Brock Bolin, the second-year back out of Louisville, bowling some people over and getting to the end zone.
I think some other people may have used that metaphor in the past, Randy.
I'm not the first?
No, you might not be the first one. I know you thought it was very quippy.
He's from Louisville. I got to call my friend Paul Rogers at Louisville, does the play-by-play. And I bet you Paul says, no, I never used it in 4 years.
Well,
no.
He bowled over a couple of safeties for the Falcons to score the lone touchdown.
There's Harris pass. That's down inside the 10-yard line. And Trevor Harris, the rookie from Edinburgh, is moving this team.
Nice throw. Nice throw right down the seam here, but good protection. Nobody in his face. And really nice job. That's where the tight ends live, down those seams in the middle of the field. The hits came just a little bit late.
Zach Potter. That catch. Falcons D-line, you saw right there. Trying to make a stand here and keep this deficit from growing. It outside and finding some room back up the middle is Colby Smith.
Well, this is goal line defense here for the Falcons. You don't get a lot of chances to work on it live during preseason. So for all of these guys, it's a great opportunity to kind of show up here.
Vance Walker, Trey Lewis, you saw them. Brian Van Gorder commanding the troops from the sideline.
Vance Walker and Trey Lewis in the middle here will do their best to get as low as they can to get as much penetration as they can.
Bear Woods, number 45. So Robert James. This is a 2nd and 3 from the 3. And this is stop cold again. Colby Smith. There's another back from Louisville. He's 4 years removed from playing for the Cardinals.
Yeah, he spent time with the Kansas City Chiefs. First start in the NFL, he went for over 100 yards. Trying to hang on here like a lot of these guys.
Third and goal from the 5.
Baldy, it just shows you there are players everywhere. I mean, obviously Louisville, both Louisville and Kentucky basketball reputations, but we just saw Bolin and Smith from Louisville, and the Jets have the kid this year people call the Terminator, John Connor. John Connor, so
Kentucky.
3rd and 5 from the 5, and it's incomplete at the goal line. Bear Woods in there defending.
That's Troy Williamson now, who's really, this ball was clean. This is a perfectly thrown ball right where you want it.
Ouch.
I'll tell you.
Right in the hands.
Well, you don't want to see
the helmet.
Yeah, you don't want to, that's embarrassing. Troy Williamson's been in this league a long time. Former #1 draft pick of the Vikings from South Carolina. And that ball, he never saw coming off of the rookie's hands there. Hit him right in the face mask.
4th and 5, and they'll go for it here. with Harris in the gun. 2 receivers right, 1 left. Smith in the backfield, and Harris going down at the 10.
Hey, the first sack of the night came at a great time tonight for the Falcons. There
Look at Van Gorder.
Yeah.
Hey, it's the final quarter of preseason. No, it's the moment Brian Van Gorder wants his defense to make a stand. That's what it is. There are some of the players who slammed the door on Jacksonville after the Jags had it for 11 plays and went 70 yards, but the Falcons now take over on downs at the 10-yard line with John Parker Wilson back at quarterback. And wanting to throw. And finding a receiver at the 19-yard line, and it looks like a fine catch, a 9-yard gain. Let's take a look at that stop again. Robert James off the edge.
He comes untouched. Nobody there to block him. He attacked the weak side of the protection. He was able to get there first and get his hands around the quarterback without him ever having vision down the field. And Brian Van Gorder is excited no matter when that happens.
2nd and 1 from the 19. And a first down. And a flag. Glad to tell you about that first item. I hate to see the second one. We have 5:43 to go here in the 4th quarter. Garrett Reynolds and his line
Holding,
mates.
number 49, offense, 10-yard
That's on
penalty.
Flecko, the holding
Repeat,
penalty.
2nd down.
No, but I see 2 guys down there on the offensive line. You mentioned Garrett Reynolds. He's at right tackle now. He was at right guard to start the game, and Jose Valdez has gone the distance here at left tackle. So the hardest position to develop in football is the offensive line. I mean, you know, the only way you get better is by playing. And these guys tonight, a lot of these guys will be asked to be role players, the backups this year. Never know when they're going to be called on. I mean, all these guys are getting really valuable reps here this evening against Jacksonville. And they're getting tired. They're getting tired at the same time.
Incomplete. Thomas, and another flag. Thomas Dimitrov pointed out Will Svitek got a lot of snaps at left tackle tonight.
Well, he was valuable last year. I have to tell you, I mean, I'm a big fan of Will Svitek. He's a kid that born in Czechoslovakia.
Automatic first down.
Family escaped from the Iron Curtain there when he was 2 years old and was a defensive lineman at Stanford and went over to Europe and played in NFL Europe and was in Kansas City for a while, practice squad, and he's working his way up gradually to being maybe the swing tackle here, where if anything would happen to Sam Baker or Tyson Clabo, he'd be the guy that they would call on.
Take note, Baldy, where he was born. It wasn't the Czech Republic then, it was communist Czechoslovakia, and that's up over the 36-yard line, and that's a nice gain. Is John Parker Wilson for 21 yards.
Nice job by the back, stepping up. Antone Smith stepping up and really taking on the blitzing linebacker. And Ryan Wolf here, good dig route. Disciplined over the middle and catches it and does something with it afterwards. So good all-around play from the Falcon backups.
From the same program that produced Joe Hawley, UNLV. 13-9. Falcons trailing. Clock moving. Under 5 minutes now, 4th quarter. Short gain on that by Antone Smith.
Arthur Blank, team president, looking on here, looking at his investment. I think he's got to be extremely optimistic, and I think the expectation should be as high as they possibly can. You're in the 3rd year here. They've had great continuity. I think they're doing it the right way. Now it's got to be, you got to see it in the win and loss column.
On a 2nd and 9 play, pick up a 4 on yet another completion by John Parker Wilson. Robbie Agnew, rookie tight end there. Michael Palmer, Keith Zinger.
The tight ends all giving Agnew a little props there, telling him, I mean, it's a group. You know, I mean, each of these positions in the NFL, they're all a group. They all work together, kind of live together in their own little cubby holes, watching the tape and studying the playbook.
Some people would say caves.
Caves,
Cubby
yeah.
holes is good too.
Yeah, man caves. That's what they are.
3rd and 4 from the 42. And And that's knocked away on a fine defensive play. Good timing by Gerald Alexander.
Well, a little bunch formation this time, trying to get Jacksonville a little bit confused, and they did a good job of manning up. Gerald Alexander, a guy that at one time was a second-round pick of the Detroit Lions, trying to catch on here as a safety.
John Parker Wilson talking it over with quarterback's coach and assistant Bill Musgrave there. John Parker is now 8 of 15 for 74 yards here tonight. All in the second half. Chris Redmond played the first half. And Michael Kanan back on the field. And that one is high into the night sky here at Everbank Field and bounces exactly what Kanan wanted, inside the 20-yard line, and is down at the 17, a 42-yard punt, no return. Vance Walker, second-year defensive tackle from Georgia Tech. And the Falcons defense looking at the Jacksonville offense, 1st and 10 on their 17-yard line here with 3:14 to go, fourth quarter. Rookie quarterback Trevor Harris calling the shots for Jacksonville, has an open receiver, and that gain is up over the 20-yard line to Clarence Denmark. Let's go down to Fred Khalil.
Here with Sean Weatherspoon, Falcons first-round draft pick. Always a smile on your face. Well, you know, before we talk football, we got to talk about you. I mean, you're just a happy guy. You're always smiling.
Yes, sir. I definitely take pride in my smile. You know, I feel like I got a decent smile, so I like to smile a lot. I'm always having a good time. Always just happy about being alive, man.
Well, you know, you're a first-round pick, so obviously you have to be ready to be a starter right away. Are you going to be ready?
I'm just going to be ready for whatever they need me to do. If they call my number, I'm ready to go out there, and I want to be reliable out there, not a liability. So I'm definitely looking forward to getting out there.
Well, you gave me a funny look, like, whoa. Well, you got to be ready, man. You're the first-round pick, right?
You definitely have to be ready, but you know, I haven't heard, you know, how that situation is going. I'm just going out there expecting to go out and contribute the best way I can.
You talk a bit about how Mike Peterson has been able to take you under his wing.
Yes, sir. He's definitely a guy that's really been helpful to me. You know, since I've been in here, he's pulled me to the side. You know, gave me a little nickname, called me the Baby Lion. That's something that I take pride in. And you know, Mike's just a guy that really wants to see me do well, and that's something that you kind of don't expect from veteran guys when you come into the league. Man, he's done a great job of just helping me out, and I'm thankful to have him.
Thankful for you. Thanks so much.
Oh yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
All right. The Spoon and Fred downstairs.
Let me tell you something. That's what rookie first-round draft picks should look like. They should be happy, upbeat. I mean, it's the time of their life.
We have a moment here now to take a look at tonight's SunTrust solid. Oh, now that might be the SunTrust solid play of the game right there. It doesn't get any more solid than that smile. But we'll actually, I guess we got to make it a play. So what we'll do is we'll keep it on the Sean Weatherspoon side of the ball for our SunTrust solid play. On the defensive side, and Jamal Anderson.
Nice job by Jamal, who had actually been knocked down by a wide receiver in that play. Got up, got the chase. Guy that was a former #1 pick 4 years ago, and he seems like he just keeps kind of getting better and better, you know, gradually. A guy that I think they can rely on him. They can play him inside and outside right now.
That's a key. When it comes to how many D linemen can you keep, that is a key factor, and Harris is buried under the Falcon pass rush, so another sack, and that's a loss of 9.
So here's another blitz coming on the outside here. Good job of Robert James again, beating the fullback.
Oh, Bear Woods.
And Bear Woods getting there. It was kind of a sandwich. And both James and Woods getting there about the same time.
Would you call that a bear hunt?
Yeah, that'd be bear hunting.
Bear doing the hunting. The rookie from Troy.
We talked about that hair, those dreads that he wears so proudly. We talked about that the first preseason game against Kansas City.
And if you folks missed it, he contributes to a program called Locks for Love for chemotherapy patients who need to have hair replaced. You know, have a situation with which they have to deal. He says he's donated about 5 yards worth of hair over the years, and now he's giving a little verbal advice to an opponent.
Well, another good series. Would he go through the offensive tackle?
Who might have
somebody else was bear hunting there.
He might have grabbed that hair too in that
it's all,
process.
it's all fair. It's all fair. You're going to have hair like that, and you're going to see it.
Ask Troy Polamalu.
Well, he just got his insured for $1 million. You'll see that September 12th in Pittsburgh.
And loose ball. And the Jaguars have recovered that fumble by Tim Buckley. So that Falcons defense has to go right back out there on the field with 2:39 to go, fourth quarter.
Well, he's looking down at the rush. He looked down. I think he took his eyes off it right at the end as he backed up, and he saw Jackson. He probably should have fair caught that ball, but that's all part of the process, is your decision making back there. The most important part of being a punt returner.
Rookie from Alcorn State coughs it up, and Jacksonville back on offense from the 40-yard line of Atlanta.
Probably caught 500 punts this offseason, didn't drop one. Time when he had a chance to return one, wasn't able to bring it in.
Jack Del Rio and his staff stay on the ground here as we're 2.5 minutes and counting.
All Jack is thinking about, and all Mike Smith is thinking about right now, is that clock. Can we get this thing to tick, 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 tick to 0, 0, 0 and get off this field without anybody getting hurt?
Del Rio has Denver on his menu for the opener. And as we've mentioned many times, Pittsburgh Steelers await at Heinz Field for the Falcons.
You think Tim Tebow will have some fans here in northern Florida when he comes in with the Broncos that game?
Funny how those schedule makers, yeah, okay.
Work that into it.
2-minute warning here in the fourth quarter. Weatherspoon's still working the sideline.
You know what?
And the camera.
Well, there's a camera around, okay?
Yeah, there you go.
Some guys just know exactly where it is all the time. I don't think his reality TV show is coming anytime soon.
Well, hopefully he doesn't have time for that.
Right.
2nd and 8 on the 38. And Falcons defense, no pun intended here, rises up and stops that play.
Well, it looks like Jacksonville here with 3 timeouts left is content to just run it down short and be done with this, although it is 3rd down.
Under a minute and a half now. 13-9 Jacksonville. And after this play, we'll select our clear wire player of the game. And Baldy, it's Chris Redmond, 15 out of 22 for 142.
Well, he had that one drive that ended up in a field goal that he completed his first 7 passes on, and he was just really sharp. Just spraying it to it all over the field. Good decision making. Guys responded with some good catches from him. And I thought he handled that first half really, really well. Took care of the football. Had some throws that could have produced touchdowns. Put in the right spot. Guys just didn't make the plays.
He'd be the first guy to tell you he hopes that he doesn't have to take a snap. He hopes that Matt Ryan plays out the year like 2008 and has no reason to come out other than maybe to, as Jacksonville's called for delay a game, we're down to 25 seconds, other than maybe Redmond to come in to mop up in a win. But if called upon for any other reason, he'll be ready, just like he was last year.
Well, he knows what his role is. He'll always be ready. He's thrived in the backup role. He has here. He did in Baltimore. So he knows what he's supposed to do, and he's there to be a confidant for Matt on the sideline, help him out, talk things through. work with him during the week, and know that he's one play away at any time during the game.
And this Jaguars punt, fair catch, signaled for inside the 10-yard line. And Buckley hangs on to that one, a 32-yard punt. 19 ticks left before these two teams get ready for next week.
I think what those two guys are saying, and Mike Smith talking to Brian Van Gorder, taking the headsets off, is let's get ready for some real football, boys. You know, I mean, it's been an off season, it's been the draft, it's been free agency, it's been OTAs, training camp, and now from here on in, it's all about the games that just count.
Draw play with some room. This will take the clock down to 0 after the carry by Antone Smith, as the Falcons end their preseason with a loss here to Jacksonville 13-9. But don't go away. We'll be back to wrap it up, including an interview from the field after we take a break. Back at Everbank Field after this.